Titans did enslave Azeroth. Their goal finally revealed? Oh my god, wait a minute. Now, we've been talking about Azeroth, Sylvanas, this world is a prison. We try to forget the things that happened in Shadowlands, but sometimes they're still relevant. And I do think Azeroth is in fact in prison. I talked about it back when we saw the incarnates in their little orbs, and how it looked very much like the visions that we see whenever we hear Azeroth talking. Let's see what Doran, the teller of truths, has to say about Azeroth.
We've been speculating about what Azeroth really is for ages and what the Titan goal is, but Blizzard just decided to drop the info to us outright in a new quest that you can play through in the War Within. This expansion changed everything, and if you still think the Titans could really be the good guys that are just misunderstood, I would reconsider it. Not only are we attacked by one of their constructs meant to keep their servants in order, but we've learned that their goal was to find a Prime World Soul and to convert it. Now the Titans are the master...
Now we did already get confirmation through many quests now that Azeroth is in fact not a nascent Titan. She does not have to become a Titan, but she can be led to become a Titan, or influenced or corrupted, however you want to think about it, into becoming maybe some kind of overpowered Titan. While the Void can do the opposite and maybe voidify her into becoming, I don't know if she'll become a Void Lord, but she would become a weapon for the Void for sure.
Of gaslighting you and sugarcoating things, so they would say they just want to nurture a new Titan, but what they're essentially doing is converting this neutral energy into order, and we're all a part of this experiment. Just how the Black Empire once ruled Azeroth, the Titans also did the same thing, and we've been living under it all these years. However, now all of that is crashing down, and as Chris Metzen said, we're finally going to discover this vast Titan conspiracy and what has really been going on Azeroth. So, what is all this new information? If you guys want to buy Total War, Elder Scrolls, or any other game, you can get them at great prices with my Gamivo link. You can also get anything Warcraft related, gift cards and software, and all below market prices. Best of all, if you add my code DORON, you can get an even bigger discount, so make sure to check out my link in the description and get some amazing deals with Gamivo.
Do it.
So if you've been following the lore for a while now, you might have noticed that we've been talking about Azeroth not being a Titan for quite a while now, but almost always these were just hints or speculations or certain perspectives that were just overall vague. Realistically, we've known that the original Chronicle lore has been BS for quite a few years now, and the entire ordeal that Azeroth is a Titan, an asset one that they're trying to nurture and awaken, is
I wouldn't say Chronicle is completely BS, but it's certainly, I don't know, bias, I guess you could say. Like most history in the world, right? It's always written by the victors. Yeah, was everything written about World War II exactly how it happened? Probably not, but it was written by the winners, so that's going to be the tale that's told. Mind you, if Germany had won, trust me, we'd have a completely different backstory to how World War II went down. But anyways, it's Titan. Yes, the Titans are the ones who wrote it, so obviously there are some truths in it and there are some lies in it, and then even the truths themselves maybe have been bent in a way to give the Titans a favorable light.
Been debunked for ages now. We've been talking about how Sargeras might not have been so different, how he might not have really gone crazy as we could previously believe, and we've also been talking about that still super relevant theory that Azeroth is inside of a giant Titan prison that we will see in the last Titan in the World Soul Saga. Yeah. Furthermore, we found some really suspicious documents of the Titans not exactly being the nicest of guys, and Eredicon told us that once they come to Azeroth, we're going to see their true face and how little they care for
I still wonder what his plan... I thought maybe he was gathering power in the Dark Heart to fight the Titans, but obviously he gave it to Xal'atath. He was only doing that to help her. Now, what did Xal'atath give him in return? He knows that the Void and things like that can't be trusted. He talked to his sister Viranoth when she said, you trust the Void, and the only thing he said back was, I trust its hunger. Meaning he doesn't trust the Void. He knows that, shit could go south by teaming up with them, but he trusts something about it enough to believe that it's going to give him the power to defeat the Titans, and that's his end goal. What that is, we don't know yet. We actually have not even seen him or heard of him this expansion yet, so that's interesting. He's going to play a role eventually.
However, The Forbidden release changed everything, and no longer are we just speculating, we got some things happening outright that you can see with your own eyes. For example, some of the Earthen that have been following the Titan edicts since forever had to essentially abandon some of them due to necessity, and then we learned that the Titans had planted a gigantic construct in the water that was supposed to annihilate them if that ever happens. Previous documents said that the lead Titan Keeper Odin didn't like that the Titan Forge were getting free will and that they're becoming more sentient and they aren't just mindless drones anymore. We've also learned they had waged war on some branch of the Titan Forge that had holed up in a place called Avaloren, and these guys have managed to successfully split away. However, just this fact that the Titans essentially planted a giant construct in case...
By the way, that whole Avaloren continent, is that where the Light King is? You know, we've heard the Light Emperor, as the people of Halofal call him. Is this where they came from? I don't know if that's been confirmed yet. We do know that they came from somewhere else. Somewhere outside of the two continents that we know currently make up Azeroth. So it could be, in fact, Avaloren, and it could, in fact, mean that these Light people, or the Halofal people, wherever they're from, have somehow resisted the Titans, because the Titans haven't been able to get over there yet, which is very interesting.
Their followers started getting free will and started getting ideas, but really it tells you everything you need to know about how they really see their servants and how in their eyes they're literally just mindless tools. Now, taking this into account, you can imagine that they view us in much the same manner as most of the playable races were Titan servants originally. It also seems like life collaborated with the Titans, so really we might all be a part of this giant experiment that we had no idea about. We did in a way see the Titans back at Legion, but in that time our goals aligned with them, so they appeared a little bit more benevolent. But again, none of this is really a retcon, it's just that Blizzard is now really pushing this angle hard. Our first real interaction with the legacy of the Titans on Azeroth was back in Wrath and in Ulduar, where we had discovered their main facility. There we learned that these crazy guys have literally wired up the entire planet with an explosion mechanism that would blow everything up in case the old gods managed to break free and essentially do what
Zelda... What is it, the chamber, the re-origination chamber or something it was called? Yeah, basically wipes everything out. And the Titans only use us because we're very much useful to them right now. We've essentially been like the immune system of Azeroth, basically wiping its surface clean, constantly avoid threats and other things coming to Azeroth. So for now, the Titans have enjoyed our presence. Even though we got the Curse of Flesh and everything, we've still been very much useful to them. The second that we weren't is the time that you would think they might use this and just wipe everything clean. That's why it was put there.
Is doing right now. Once again, it shows you their true nature and how little they
didn't give a shit about us.
However, now in the actual expansion, we have brand new information where this is stated outright. So, first of all, Azeroth is elemental in nature based on the Dragonflight hints, and the most recent Chronicle book that was released a few months back, it essentially confirmed that Azeroth is a neutral power source. It can turn into a void monstrosity, but it can also turn into a Titan as well. Now, they actually double down on this in the game itself, and we get this new quest where you activate a Titan machine and you get a vision of what originally happened to Azeroth, and if you ever needed more confirmation what they have in store, well, look no further. So this new quest tells us that in order to craft order out of the inherent chaos of the cosmos, the Titans began searching for the so-called Prime World Soul, aka the most powerful World Soul in existence, and essentially to convert it into a Titan. They discovered Azeroth, and this was the original goal. Now, this little bit of info, while it might not seem like anything...
Yeah, that was the lore basically in the game that confirmed that Azeroth is not in fact just a Titan. That she is like this world soul that can be converted into a Titan.
We didn't really know is in fact a huge confirmation. Azeroth is not a Titan 100%, and them saying that they're trying to nurture it into a Titan is essentially just a sugar-coated way of saying that they're trying to convert this neutral energy into their own, which, when you think about it, is pretty much the exact same thing that the Void is doing right now.
Yeah, it's corruption. They're trying to corrupt it or influence it, whatever it is, whatever how you want to look at it. It's not... You can't consider the Void as evil and the Titans are good. That doesn't really... It's not true, right? They're just both two opposite forces pulling in opposite directions.
Void is trying to convert the neutral Prime World Soul into the...
Oh my god. Oh, shit. Whoa. 162. Whoa, Link. Thank you so much, man. Damn.
own as well. The difference was that the Black Empire originally succeeded and reigned over Azeroth for a while, and as we've just learned, so did the Titans. The Titans brought down the Black Empire, but they didn't really save us. They just established their own empire that we've been living in from that point until the next few years, where everything is going to come crashing down. Now, all this makes sense now when you remember what Chris Metzen said on Blizz. Throughout the World Soul Saga, we're going to cover a vast Titan conspiracy involving the various facilities, and I think we can kind of guess what is going on. I think we're going to discover that we've been essentially living inside of a Titan prison this entire time, powering it through a made-up purpose, all for the sake of converting Azeroth into one of their own. Of course, all of this is obviously catastrophically failing, as all their mechanisms had gone bad, and Zealotet is now shifting the ship and actually completing the Void conversion.
Yeah, Zealotet's playing us. She's definitely playing 4D chess, and she's going to get us, I think, especially at the end of this expansion. That's why we're going to go into the Midnight expansion. Oh, you've seen my YouTube videos. Like, well, you're part of one now. This one will be posted later. Thank you so much again for the raid. I do appreciate it. Yeah, look, Zealoteth, she's like 5 steps ahead of us at all times. That's what it feels like. That's what it looks like. And she's going to play us at the very end of this expansion. I think that's almost guaranteed, leading to like the hour of twilight and midnight and everything else. And that's why we're going to take a big L at the end of this expansion. I think we're going to end up killing somebody we shouldn't kill. Something's going to happen. We're going to be like, oh shit, we played right into her hands.
The matter even more interesting, we've also discovered a few data mined, like dozens of data mined files, meaning we're actually going to learn something really interesting in the near future, and I think they're just going to continue down this line. Now, if you remember that logo theory that we've had since last BlizzCon, it's not only not getting debunked.
Yeah, this is the first time that I saw these orbs and I was like, oh, Azeroth's a prison, because this shit looks exactly like what we see whenever Azeroth's talking, that floating gassy ball. This is what it looks like.
Is actually getting more evidence. We've seen that the last Titan logo looked exactly the same as the Primal Incarnate prison, like literally a copy-paste thing. Keep in mind, the Primal Incarnates are...
This scene right here, this scene, you're gonna tell me... Hold on, let me get it perfectly. Come on, rewind. Fast clicks, use the wrist. Look at this. This outer wall of this ball. You're gonna tell me that that doesn't look like the same shit that we always see whenever Azeroth's talking, even has the blue in there. The blue and the red. Whenever we hear the whispers from Azeroth, it looks like we're just zoomed in on the edge of one of these orbs, which is why I keep saying that whenever we're seeing Azeroth talk, that's not actually her. That's just the outer wall of her prison. And eventually we're going to see what she really looks like.
Mind, the Primal Incarnates are elemental beings inside of a Titan prison. Based on the current hints, Azeroth is elemental in nature and very likely in a Titan prison.
And the last Titan logo has those rings.
It makes sense. I mean, they would imprison Azeroth so that no one else can reach her, and then they would create a ton of fail-safe mechanisms and defenses that have been failing one by one over the many millennia. Now, with the world breaking and all, we are going to get the last mechanism that Zealotet is well aware of. What makes this even more interesting is that it raises a few more implications as well. I mean, I've talked about how the King of Diamonds was made a pawn, but you really just think about this. Magni is essentially an Earthen, a Titan servant that got free will and was affected by the Curse of Flesh. Why? Yeah. Would the Prime Soul, the Prime World Soul, whisper to a Titan servant? Previously, this made sense because we thought Azeroth was a Titan, so it would whisper to the Titan servants.
See, these images. Whenever we see Azeroth in game or she's talking, looks just like the outer wall of the prison, doesn't it? Just saying.
But literally think about it, the Titans put Azeroth inside of a prison. If the theory is true, to her, the Titans are no better than the old gods and the Void Lords, so why would she suddenly start giving hints to Titan-forged servants that she would only really see as oppressors? Personally, I think Magni never really communicated with Azeroth, and if Azeroth is not nascent anything, just a Prime World Soul, she might not even have a voice, and this voice that we've heard could have been a manipulation of someone like Zealotet. Furthermore, as I stated in many videos, there was new dialogue from the late last year added to the Orc Hermit in Silitus, where he told us that we don't really know what's up with Sargeras and that we shouldn't see it as black and white. As in, Sargeras was a Titan through and through and he just used different methods. It's possible that Sargeras wanted to destroy the Titans, believe the Prime World Soul could save.
We already know that, you know, Chris Metzen said in a recent interview that we are not prepared for what is to come, an obvious hint at Illidan. Illidan and Sargeras, I think, are a package deal. We're not going to see Illidan again without seeing Sargeras again. They're both there. They're both literally standing in the Pantheon right now as we speak, probably chatting it up. They could be. Now, maybe early on, you know, Illidan was probably telling him, just shut up, I don't want to hear what you have to say. But eventually, I think Sargeras might say something that triggers Illidan to think, wait a minute. These Titan guys, they're not on our side? Oh, what are you talking about? And, a full-fledged, fully angered Illidan, a vengeful Illidan, that's a powerful Illidan. So he'll come back with Sargeras at some point. Maybe we pull the sword back out or something, and they help us in some way in the last Titan.
Them, and this is what caused the split.
Not a redemption arc by any means for Sargeras. He's still a fucking asshole, that's for sure. But, sometimes an asshole on your team is a clean asshole. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with that analogy, but you get what I'm saying.
However, both of them couldn't care less about Azeroth or us in the long term. However, with each passing day, Blizzard is just doubling down on the Titans bad. They're not that different from Sargeras or the old gods. They're just the masters of gaslighting and sugarcoating, so you never really figure out what they had done. It's very likely that they even built the entire Shadowlands mechanism where we go in and out of the material plane to maintain the machinery, because we've learned in the Shadowlands that the Eternal Ones had very likely worked with the Titans at some point in the past. So, looks like this vast Titan conspiracy really...
The Eternal Ones have indeed talked to the Titans. They've dealt with the Titans and domination magic and everything created by the Primus, He's definitely talked to Aman'Thul. They've exchanged shit. The reason why the Primus is so good at combat and everything else is because Aman'Thul has essentially given him the ability to see into the future. And the reason why we see a lot of rune magic and all kinds of shit going on with the Titans and their ability to try to control things is because the Primus, in exchange for the ability to see into the future, gave him rune magic. Gave him domination magic. This is the theory. And I think it's a good one.
In the past. So, looks like this vast Titan conspiracy really is starting to unravel. Thank you for watching. Check out why we will never defeat Zaltad by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on Perun and Slavic mythology by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time!
Yeah, nice video from Doran. And yeah, basically everything that we've talked about before, all the stuff that we've mentioned about, Azeroth being in a prison and everything, that is all but confirmed at this point from Blizzard through the quest lines that we've all gone through now. So, nice video from Doran summarizing all of that.